Hello, and welcome back to another video. Thanks ever so much as always for watching. If for some reason you like it, do give me a like. If you don't like it because of my t-shirt, then that's fair play. Anyway, let's get into the race. So we actually had an exciting French Grand Prix for a change. Since its reintroduction in, I think it was like 2016, something like that, it's been incredibly boring. But this weekend we actually had the two, Mercedes and Red Bull, fighting against each other, and we had the kind of number ones and the number twos fighting, and it was absolutely brilliant. Not only that, we also had the midfield that was incredible as well. They were so close to each other, lots of action in there. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of it because of the TV direction, just wanting to see if there was going to be a change for the lead. But yeah, what a great race around France. For France, that was a brilliant race. So let's get into the start. So Verstappen and Hamilton seem to have a very similar getaway. I think, if anything, Hamilton slightly had the edge, but it didn't really matter into turn one. Unfortunately for Max, he got a little bit of a swapper on and had to correct himself, and obviously then had to go wide at turn two to avoid. Well, he had to go wide because he got a swapper on. So. Yeah, he was actually quite lucky, I thought, to not lose a place to Bottas, but very well done to him to actually stay in second after that. But obviously that gave Hamilton the lead. And it was a question then, is Hamilton going to pull away? I didn't think he was, and that was proved to be right. But they seem to be very similar in overall pace, so it's all going to come down to strategy for this race, in my opinion anyway. And that seemed to be what happened. So obviously, the first pit stops, Verstappen is behind, and obviously has done an incredible outlap after his initial pit stop that caught Mercedes a little bit by surprise, and we're seeing a bit of a role reversal as we did throughout the race, which we'll get into more as well. But yeah, it seemed like Red Bull definitely got the call right to do the undercut there, and yeah, they managed to get in front of the Mercedes, and I was expecting Hamilton to complain more, to be honest, than he actually did, because normally when he gets undercut, he's what's happened there? Basically, the answer is always they've gone faster to this point than you have. That is the answer to that question all the time. And then for a brief time, I think we thought the race was going to settle down. I think we thought we were going to see a one stop for about 10-15 laps. Obviously, the Aston Martins decided they were going to stay out for as long as they possibly could, and we'll get onto them in a minute. But anyway, when Red Bull decided to do the second pit stop, I was just, I mean, they're doing a Mercedes to Mercedes, which is interesting. And the only difference between Hungary and Catalonia that we saw this year, where Mercedes were the ones that pitted, is that for this time Verstappen had to overtake both Mercedes, which we've not seen in that scenario reversed before. So Verstappen did an incredible job to clear Bottas as quickly as he did. Obviously Bottas was fuming because he was the one that called the two-stop first. But yeah, excellent from Verstappen. And then I was absolutely loving it when Verstappen was getting close to Hamilton. And just to be clear, if you haven't watched any of my videos, whoever is driving a car that says Honda on it, I love. It doesn't matter who it is. If Hamilton goes to Honda next season, obviously that's not going to happen because there is no more Honda next season. But whoever's driving for Honda, I want to win. So yeah, that's basically me. But yeah, excellent race from Verstappen, and I mean, yeah, it takes two to have a good race, and yeah, so credit to Hamilton. He did everything he could. Unfortunately, he lost out on this day, but Hamilton is such an incredible driver, and yeah, hats off to him. Bottas versus Perez. I'll just quickly go into this one because otherwise this video is going to be ridiculously long. Yeah, Perez just did an incredible job doing a one-stop, to be honest. And he looked after his tyres, and that paid dividends at the end. And Bottas was just a sitting duck, to be honest. And there really wasn't anything he could do about it. And if there was, he probably wouldn't have anyway, because you know what my opinion is of Bottas at the minute. But that's enough of the Bottas hating, because I do a lot of that. Let's move into McLaren, actually. And McLaren, yeah, fantastic job this weekend. They looked really slow at the start of the race. I don't really know where their pace came from at the end, but it certainly did. And both Ricciardo and Norris. I think they were like P6, P7. I think they were. So yeah, fantastic result for them in the end. They like I said, they just looked like they were nowhere in the race, but obviously their strategy paid off. Now we're going to look at AlphaTauri. Excuse me. Pierre Gasly, excellent again. Yuki Tsunoda's hype train is slowly falling off a cliff, I think, isn't it, really? Because he certainly hasn't been the same kind of calibre that we certainly expected and that he performed at the start of the season. So, because he seems to be very angry, Tsunoda does, so maybe he needs to sort of check himself on that. But I mean, I don't know, to be honest, but he is definitely being well outperformed by Gasly at the minute, and Gasly is doing an incredible job this season. It just doesn't like that Red Bull somewhere, or maybe it's just Max is that good, I don't know, but certainly as soon as he got back in that AlphaTauri, he's absolutely smashing it. So yeah, Aston Martin, the team that did they bank on the safety car, or were they trying to hold on to the mediums so that they could go on the softs? Actually, I think they started on the hards, actually, didn't they? Hold on to the hards so they could go onto the softs. Who knows, really, but they still did a good performance, to be fair. Completely different strategy to anyone else. And it seemed to work out for them-ish in the end. I mean, they didn't have a great result, but, you know, they did okay, considering where they qualified. So, yeah. Then we've got Alpine. Alonso and Ocon had a little bit of Alonso seems to be getting to grips with this car now. It looked like he struggled at the start of the season. Obviously, Ocon had the better start to the season and was outperforming Alonso. But in the last couple of races, we've seen Alonso coming back, and it looks, like I said, it looks like he's getting to grips with that car. And I mean, although he's only in the kind of positions where he was in the McLaren that was GP2 engine and terrible and everything like that, because I mean, let's not forget, he got some 7th places in that shitbox. So good race from Alonso. Ocon will be disappointed, but I'm sure he'll bounce back because he's actually been pretty good this season, I would say. Ferrari, yeah, bit of a weird one for Ferrari. I mean, obviously I alluded to in one of my other videos that I thought that Ferrari would go well around the street tracks, but not around the other ones. But I wasn't expecting them to be this terrible. Neither of them getting points this week, which is definitely a surprise. And yeah, I mean, is it just that maybe it's the power? I don't know, to be honest, because I'm not an expert. But you know, for some reason they did not perform well around here. It looks like they perform well around handling tracks. I said in my group chat earlier that they'd perform well around Singapore this year, and then I was quickly corrected by the fact we're not actually racing around Singapore this year, so that'll do it. So they're not going to be quick round there. But yeah, weird one for Ferrari. And then we'll look at the usual. Raikkonen, decent job. I mean, he just knows what to do, to be honest. He just does a solid performance every weekend, doesn't he, to be honest. Giovinazzi about the same. I think Russell and Latifi had a little bit of scrap at the start, and then for some reason Mick Schumacher couldn't beat Mazepin, so I mean, he probably didn't have an engine in the car if he couldn't beat Mazepin, or something like that. He must be, because, well, yeah, enough said on that anyway. But yeah, sorry for taking up so much of your time. Thanks ever so much for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.